is I wanted to take the opportunity, since I know it's a snow day for me and my kids and my wife. I figure I've been dying to get you on an interview to talk about the stretch program that you're doing. So I want this to be an interview for therapists. I've got some ideas about questions that I want to ask, but it's mainly 15 or 20 minutes of your time. And I want to hear kind of what you're doing, how you're doing it, what you're teaching others about it. And then, of course, how people can find out about what you're doing. So kind of take me
Cool.
through from the beginning. First,
Okay.
for anybody watching who doesn't know who you are, I just posted in the group, I said that you're a practice owner and you've been doing out of network and cash-based services longer than it's been cool. So tell everybody watching a little bit about yourself first.
Absolutely. So you're totally right. When I came to the area, I knew what I wanted to do. And I was told by plenty of people, oh, no, that will not go here in Ohio.
Yeah.
um, and I was just stubborn and determined enough that I thought, well, we've got to give it a try. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then we'll relook at things. So I opened my practice in May of 2013, Stretch Physical Therapy and Total Wellness. And the basic mission has not changed.
Right.
It was built to bridge the gap of traditional physical therapy and other wellness opportunities to help our consumers better understand their body so that they can move better and live better. In the beginning, it was just with physical therapy. The wellness portion was just understanding the body and teaching more. But since then, I have learned that physical therapy alone is not a full solution for returning someone's health and mobility. And we're but a piece of the puzzle.
Let me ask you, because you just said physical therapy alone. So like in your mind, what is physical therapy and how do you differentiate physical therapy from the other stuff that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So physical therapy is movement, where movement, strength, mobility, tendons, muscles, things like that, help us move on a daily basis. Okay. Wellness to me is incorporated an integrated model that doesn't only include mobility for a person, but also helps educate a consumer on stress, mindfulness, um, flexibility, balance, nutrition, sleep, things like that, that are not completely in our wheelhouse alone.
Sure.
All of those together help someone achieve their mobility goals.
Gotcha. Okay. And so you have multiple locations.
Well, I have one location, and the other one we are not present at since COVID.
Oh, right.
And that place reopened in another place. So we're about to go into another location, a doctor's office on Tylersville.
Okay. Take a
Mhm.
step back, because I think people always like to understand the context of who they're listening to. So tell me about when you started, how you grew, how you consolidated, kind of when did you actually start Stretch?
May of 2013 is when the doors officially opened. That was day one.
Okay. And that was in a brick and mortar clinic.
That's correct.
And you are a physical therapist assistant.
Yes.
And what were some of the barriers, if any, that you found starting as a PTA owning a private practice?
The first hurdle was the lawyers, meeting with an attorney to get things started, your LLC and things like that. It was first finding out in the state of Ohio, can a PTA own a physical therapy private practice?
Okay.
Um, and so once I went through that and found out that PTAs could own and open a practice in our state, then the other hurdles were finding that therapist that was aligned with my thought process.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a challenge for every private practice, is building the culture, the team around the culture.
Mhm.
and protecting that culture.
Mhm.
So now take me into what do you call the stretch program, and how did you develop it? How did you design it? Kind of what went into the creation of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the stretch program is actually what I call PT on steroids.
Okay,
Okay. And I say that because it just better helps people understand. It's not just, we're not just stretching people.
right,
Okay. Um, so the development basically has been over time. My clinic has, it started as a practice that was for back pain and sciatica, and that was our niche. My primary therapist at that time was Stacy Harris, who now does some stuff on her own as well as helping me. And she is a certified, she's a COMT, which focuses on manipulations, spine. So it's a residency.
right,
Okay. So her techniques and what she brought to the clinic with my mind and how I put systems together and things like that. And because we were able to see so many back pain and sciatica patients, we
right,
were able to take our outcomes for someone with back pain and sciatica that was forward flexed to 10 degrees forward flexion and regain that mobility. But during that process, our outcomes were great, but we were noticing that insurance barriers and paying from insurance was limiting us to meeting those full goals because it was almost more than what the insurance company wanted us to be able to do.
sure,
Okay. So we divided the two into wellness and to take someone from pain into another program. And initially in my clinic, my physical therapists, PTAs, all of us did all of it.
right,
But what we found out was that clearly it was a lot of information and it would work better dividing it up to physical therapy being one component and then stretch mobility coaching is what we called our stretch mobility coaches, um, is a totally separate program from the physical therapy.
I got it. And so
Okay.
now you've packaged this, you've implemented into your practice. You've
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I imagine, worked the bugs out of the system, worked the kinks out,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're kind of packaging this to help and teach other providers who want to bring that component into their business.
Absolutely. And I started with the thoughts of chiropractic clinics because they were reaching out to me and wanted the program.
Right.
Um, COVID hit us, and that's when I stepped and pulled myself out of physical therapy completely. Said I was going to only sell stretch mobility coach programs. And within 2 weeks, based on my caseload in physical therapy, my calendar was full.
Okay.
So I was at that time. So my physical therapy price is $150 self pay.
Right.
So I started my stretch mobility coaches as an $85 range. Okay. So people, I filled my schedule and thought, oh no, I went from $150 to $85. This is probably not a smart move
Right.
for me. So that's when I decided I needed to hire and train physical therapist assistants. And I looked at athletic trainers, I looked at personal trainers, I looked at occupational therapy assistants, but PTAs really had all the information that they needed already to be able to learn all of the stuff that needed to be learned for this program.
Gotcha.
And a PTA with 5, 6 years experience still took 4 weeks to complete my training and
Okay.
really 3 months to truly understand how to do it on a daily basis and do it well.
Right. Do you find that there's a mindset shift that needs to happen for a clinician, PTA or PT, or that's going from the conventional care model, third party payer, into this kind of more patient focused model?
A huge mind shift has to happen, just like it has to happen from going in network to out of network. Your customer in an in network is your insurance company.
Right.
It's kind of your patient, but it's that insurance company. When you're out of network, it has to become the client. So
Right.
your mindset and your processes all have to change.